Let me answer it very, very absolutely. The answer is no and absolute no. I feel that if you want to be a DevOps person, right, and if you want to write pipelines, if you want to automate things, you should at least have 1 or 2 years of experience so that you can achieve the same. If you want to do a reality check, what you can do is that down below in the comment section, I have my 1 hour of Azure DevOps course, a practical course which is completely free out there. Try to do that course, right? If you are able to do that practical, that 1 hour of practical yourself, that means that without programming experience you can do it, right? And if not, then please write down in the comment section below, what do you think? If you want to become a DevOps developer, or if you want to automate CI/CD, if you want to automate build, right, do we need a developer experience or can we do without coding? The first compelling reason why I feel that you need to be a developer, you need to be a coder, right? I don't like the word coder, but still, like, you need to be a developer for DevOps, is that this DevOps is not a single entity. It is a complete ecosystem. It is a complete ecosystem. If you look at the word DevOps, it is an anagram. It is an anagram which is formed by two words: developer, from the developer that dev is there, from the operational that ops is there, right? So it is an anagram which is formed from two words out there, right? And the whole goal of DevOps is it is more of a philosophical thing, where we say that both the development team and the operation team, they should work together, they should collaborate together, they should not play any kind of a blame game, right? And they should work on the software, they should work with the customer to take out a beautiful product, to take out an efficient product out there, right? So that is what DevOps is all about. So if you look at this complete DevOps cycle, which is normally denoted by this 8 number which you see on the flashed on the screen. So what happens at the left hand side, there is the developer team. At the right hand side, there is the operations team, right? So what happens during development? In development, what happens is, first you create a requirement document. For that requirement document, there is a design document. That design document, by looking at the design document, the developer actually does the code execution, and then he also goes and runs unit test cases. And then this complete build is then taken, build and checked, security checks are done, unit test cases are run, right? Must be system testing is also done, and this complete build is then taken and it is made live on the UAT server. On the UAT server, what happens is the operation team actually starts checking things. It sees that as per the requirement of the customer, is everything right? Must be the customer will also go and check on the UAT, right? And then from the UAT, it goes live if everything is good. And if there are any issues, this feedback is again given back to the requirement. Now, if you look at this complete ecosystem, if you look at all the stakeholders, right? In this, the one stakeholder which actually touch bases everyone is the developer. Because if you look at the developer, he interacts with the testing team when there is a bug. He interacts sometimes, many times, with the end users. He will probably be helping out the operation teams also, right? And also definitely when he's getting a task or when he's getting a requirement, he's interacting with the management as well, with the project manager, or must be with the team lead, right? So if you look at the developer, right, he's almost everywhere, right? So my first reason is that I feel that developer is more equipped, to write or to do the build automation or to DevOps, is because he touch bases almost all the stakeholders. Please note, I'm not trying to demean anyone here, demean other stakeholders. The QA department is equally important, the operation department equally important. But what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, the person who creates the software, everybody actually by default goes, or by by behavior goes and touches to that person, right? So that's why the developer is there at the center, and that's why I feel that the developer is more equipped, to understand this whole system and to build and to do DevOps and automation. Now, there is one more question which I want to answer here very bluntly. Can a fresher do DevOps? Now tell me, a fresher who comes out from the college, with all respect, there are a lot of good talented freshers out there, but definitely you need some kind of an experience, to understand this whole ecosystem, isn't it? To talk with all the stakeholders, you need to work on a project. So tell me, like, can a fresher just come out from the college and understand all these things and start doing automation? If yes, if no, please write down on the chat below, on the comment below, right? I know that there are many institutes out there, there are many YouTubers out there who say that, oh, like a fresher can do DevOps, he can get the X amount of salary. I have a different take on that, right? So if you feel that, a fresher can really come and do DevOps, please write down on the comments below. I would like to know about it. The second reason, why I feel that for DevOps you need a programming background is, if you look at DevOps, right, the most important component of DevOps is the pipeline. And this pipeline, if you see, right, it is almost a scripting language. It is not almost a scripting language, it is a scripting language, right? For example, you can see on the screen, I'm showing you the Azure DevOps pipeline. And you can see out here, you can create a variable. You can see at the right side, there is a variable tag out here. And you can write a for loop in Azure DevOps. You can write a if condition. And you have to understand the structure of, like jobs and steps, right? And task, right? This structure also you have to understand. And if you go a little bit in depth, you can see that you can run a PowerShell command, you can run a bash script, and all these PowerShell and bash script are scripting languages, right? Also, if you take other tools, like Jenkins also, you will see that there we have to write Groovy script. So the pipeline itself, you have to have programming language, it's a scripting language. So you have to have the know-how of programming. You have to understand variables. You have to understand the for loops. You have to understand the if conditions. And remember, when it comes to writing scripting inside pipeline, it is not as simple as how we do in normal programming, right? Why? Because here it is a little bit weird. You have to call one task after another task. You have to go and get some components from online like NuGet or npm install or Maven, or you have to. It's almost like automating a build, right? So the scripting here becomes much more complex and weird. I think that's the right word, and it becomes much more weird as compared to normal programming language, right? So that's why I feel that again, when it comes to writing pipeline, you have to have an understanding of scripting language, and if you're not having a basic developer experience, right, it is difficult that you can create automation pipeline. Reason number 3, one is that definitely you have to have a developer experience. Let me go one step ahead. You have to have developer experience of that specific technology. Means what? For example, you can see on my screen, right, this is an Azure DevOps pipeline, and I'm doing an Angular build out here. Now to do an Angular build, I need to really understand that we have to first do an npm install, we have to install the CLI, we need to have Node.js, we have to have the CLI, and to build, we have to call ng build, right? Let's say I'm doing a .NET build, then I need to understand, what is VS build, what is a solution file, what are the project files. If I want to go and run a test case of, let's say, VSTS test, I need to understand all this, right? If I don't understand it, how will I go and write a pipeline? Also, for example, if you're saying that you want to go and make it live somewhere, right? For example, if you look at some of these tasks, let's say IIS. So .NET applications actually get hosted on IIS, right? Now I need to understand what is a virtual path, what is a website name, what are app pools, and so on, right? If I don't understand all of this, how to go and configure the authentication, Windows authentication, right? So in order to create a build pipeline for a .NET build or for an Angular build, right, I need to understand the technology. So I feel not only that you have to know development, right, but also development of that specific thing. For example, I am a C# developer. For me to go and create a Java pipeline, it would be, I have to know a lot of things of how Java works, right? What kind of web servers they have and so on. So again, the third compelling reason is that definitely you have to know programming, but also you have to know how the build, how the go live of that programming works, right? Of that programming language works, or else again, it is very difficult to write the pipeline, and that can only be done if you're working as a developer for 1 or 2 years on that technology. So those are the 3 reasons which I'm listing on the video also, right? The first one is that, this DevOps is a complete ecosystem, and if it is an ecosystem, developers mostly touch all the stakeholders, so they become the right person, to write the pipeline. The second thing I have said is that the pipeline is almost a scripting language. It is almost, you have to write a script out there, right? There is a lot of logics, there are for loops and if conditions. Again, for that you need a little bit of coding and development experience. The third thing which I point out is very important, right? Forget about, you have to be coder or not, right? But you have to be a developer of a specific technology, right? So because when you're a developer of a specific technology, then only you can write the appropriate pipeline, because how the web servers work, how that technology works, how the testing is done in the technology, is very different, right? So a Java build, with all respect, is very different from a .NET build. I know that build is a build, right? But at the end of the day, like here you use NuGet, there you have Maven, right? For example, when you look at React, right, the way React is built, the way Angular is built, they are different at the end of the day, right? So definitely forget about, coder or not coder, right? but you have to be a coder of a specific technology, right? So guys, that brings us to the end of this session. Let me know what do you feel, right? Please put down on the chat below that what do you feel about that. Should you be knowing coding when you're doing DevOps, right? And in case you have done DevOps, right, and specifically people who have experience in DevOps, they can put down in the comments that what do they feel, right? Because that comes out from the horse's mouth, right? And finally, what I want to do is I want to point towards the Azure DevOps syllabus, right? So I have recorded a complete almost a 5 hours of course, which is live on Udemy, which is live on also inside on QuestPond, right? And also it's live inside this YouTube membership channel, right? The first video is free. Down below in the comment section, you can go and you can see the first 1 hour of the video. Even if you do that 1 hour of the video, it is more than enough to get started with Azure DevOps. But in case you want to do the advanced lessons and so on, so I have created, you can see on my screen, approximately 6 chapter lessons out here. It has almost 70 chapters inside it, right? So right from fundamentals of Azure boards, creating agent pools, variables, variable groups, CI/CD pipeline, executing a unit test case, how to do parallelism, right? So if you're talking about serious CI/CD, serious build, right, serious DevOps implementation, you can go and you can follow my course out here, right? So happy learning, happy job hunting. Thank you very much.